Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Kotobukiya's 1/6 scale Mark VII Iron Man from 2012's Avengers.
And there's one other person you pissed off. His name was Phil.
Before we get into the review, I would just like to say a massive thank you to everyone who's new to the channel. The support that I've been getting recently has been extremely appreciated and it's been overwhelming, and I honestly thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot to me to see so much support, and I do want to say thank you for that. But getting straight into the review, I'm sure a lot of people want to see mostly the head sculpts. This is an older statue revamp, which I mentioned in the unboxing, which will be linked up in the top right and also in the description. This is, like I say, a revamped statue. Kotobukiya brought this out a few years ago, and it had an LED system that lit up both the arc reactor and also the helmet. You can see the neck is hollow. That's where the lights would have been coming out of. However, this revamp does not have any lights, unfortunately. It's really sad that they've removed the lights for this newer version. They have, however, removed them for a reason. Now, I'm not sure if that reason is validated or not, because this helmet, as you can kind of see on the inside there, does still have the lenses for the eyes, so they could have easily still put LEDs just pointing directly up. That would have came through the eyes when it was mounted, and you know, the fact that they've not done that is quite a shame. It really does suck in a way, because I think if the lights were installed in the eyes and the arc reactor, this statue would look really, really good. Unfortunately, that's not the case, but it is what it is, and the reason why the lights aren't there is for a reason, which I will show you guys. The helmet is a really nice sculpt though. This is based on the Mark VII, which is the suit, that you see Stark suit up in when he jumps out of Stark Tower in 2012's Avengers. There is unfortunately a little mark right here on the top, just above the left eye. That is unfortunate. That was like that before I put it on the statue. It was like that straight out of the packaging, so that's unfortunate, but it's not too bad. I don't mind it too much. It's just from a certain angle with the lighting, but it's unfortunate, but it's not too bad. Put that back on the statue, which just simply puts on with that peg system on the neck, and it looks really good when it's suited on the statue itself. Now, it does come with the alternate head version, which is the main reason why there is no LED lights, as this one does not have any light piping or anything. And this is the face sculpt of Robert Downey Jr. And you know, when I pre-ordered this statue, I didn't think the head sculpt looked that great from the promotional images. However, I took the chance and I pre-ordered, and for the most part, I'd say I'm very happy with the head sculpt. The eyes are really well done. They are decals. I do think the hairs underneath the eyes are a little bit too large, unfortunately. But that being said, the overall look does feel like RDJ. I think it looks pretty good for what it's supposed to be, and I mean, the price of this statue compared to something like Hot Toys is a little bit cheaper. It's not by much, but it definitely is cheaper than Hot Toys, and to get a head sculpt that looks as good as what this one does, I think that's a nice inclusion to have in the statue. As you can see, there's the two different heads side by side. You will see that the eyes are different on that one because this does have the light piping. Now, because this helmet has the light piping in the eyes, it makes me think that this is the original head sculpt that was on this when it had lights, and they've just not glued it on this time, and they've taken out the LEDs, which, you know, I don't understand why they've not put the LEDs in. I would be more than comfortable paying, you know, $5-10 more to get LEDs, because without that, the statue just looks a little bit lifeless, unfortunately. It's still a very nice statue. I'm more than happy with it, but to have a light up arc reactor especially would make this statue just so much better. I can excuse it not being in the arms and the repulsor blasts on the hands, and though it would be really nice to have it on the helmet, I can kind of excuse it, but I can't excuse it on the arc reactor. That's one of the big things about Iron Man. Now, if they had painted the arc reactor like a blue and white, then that's fine, but they actually haven't painted it anything. But what they have done is sculpted in an arc reactor underneath the frosted window, which does look really good when you can see it. It's very, very hidden. You can't see it from all angles. Like that angle there, you cannot see through it. So you really need to get an angle where the light just reflects through there. Which, I mean, it's a really cool detail, and I'm really glad they've done it. But again, if it had LEDs, I would be a lot more happy with it. We'll go back to the face sculpt just for a brief second. The expression, I think, is completely wrong for this statue. Now, this statue itself, he's in a pose very much like he has been shoved back. He's trying to fight back, and he's using what looks to be like the unibeam on his chest. However, his face just does not purvey that expression. It just does not. It looks far too neutral and lifeless to be a fighting face. That being said, you could say that that's just a personal thing. I mean, perhaps I'm reading the statue wrong, but I think his face is just completely wrong for the pose, unfortunately. Like I say, he's supposed to be using the unibeam, and it's like he's just looking at the TV. It just does not add up to me. But with that being said, like I said, I do like the head sculpt. The likeness is good. It's just a shame that the head sculpt is just the wrong expression, in my opinion. That being said, though, the rest of the statue makes up for it, in my opinion. As you can see, we've got really nicely sculpted abdomen, and the paint job on this is really nice. I am more than happy with this paint. The paintwork itself, the line work, is really nicely done. It's not messy at all. The flaps on the back do not open, unfortunately. I thought they might have, but they do not. And with this being a statue, there are no moving pieces. There's no posable parts, unfortunately, but this is a statue. If you wanted posable, I would recommend looking at Hot Toys. Now, the actual arms themselves, these come detached, and well, it's not difficult to get them in place. It's literally a square peg, and you just push them in. It's not difficult at all. If you are struggling for any info on that, I did assemble this in my unboxing video. Though it's not very detailed, It's not too complicated, it's really simple. The proportions of this statue are really nice. I'm really happy with them. I think he's a little bit too tall to be RDJ. However, how they frame that in the movies, you know, you could make the argument that it's perfectly in scale with Kotobukiya's 1/6 scale Loki, which is in the same line. Taking a look here at the bottom half of the statue, I'll just remove it from the base. As you can see, this detail continues all the way down the leg, and I really love the way they've done this knee. The silver and the gold are really nicely done, and that goes for both legs. Both legs are identical with everything except for the pose, but they're really nicely done, and I love the silver they used. It looks really really nicely metallic, and it really does look like it's a real mechanical element to this statue. You can see these flaps are open on the legs. These are not closable, they are solid with the actual statue. And you can see the boot is nicely sculpted as well. And we'll get another look at that abdomen, and that also continues all the way around. And briefly, I will show the base. Now, the base itself is extremely simple, and the feet just peg in both sides. It is one way. You cannot flip the statue. The statue has to sit facing this way. It looks as though he's tried to put his feet down in the concrete and slid back, bringing up some of the concrete, which is a nice touch to the statue. The detail on the base is very basic, but I think it really illustrates the street that he's on and that he's fighting. And though it's basic, it is well done, and I do quite enjoy it. If a statue base is too complex, then the statue itself will maybe get lost in some of the detail of the base. Underneath the base is very empty. There's nothing there. It just says Marvel and Made in China, which is what you would expect for this. It is a shame that Kotobukiya has not numbered this. However, they never advertised that it was a limited edition piece, which is fair. Overall, I think this statue is well worth the money, and though my biggest criticism is the fact that they've taken the LEDs out of the original statue and replaced it with a head sculpt, which I think has the wrong expression for the pose they've depicted. I do like the statue, and I do think it is worth the money. If they were to bring out a third version that had LEDs and face sculpt and it was a bit more, I would probably consider selling this and perhaps going for the newer version, though they've not expressed any plans to release that, so I'm not too sure if that's an option. With everything being said, and the fact that you get two head sculpts and this statue is 1/6 scale, I would say it's well worth it. And if you're looking for a really nice Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man, this is definitely a good option for anyone looking to have one on this scale. And with all that being said, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you next time.